on the, small portion of your money, and they just can't do it. And whoever come up with the word golden years, well, they must have been on drugs, because there's no golden years when you get older, because you live on 40% of what you couldn't survive on when you were working. So there's no travel, there's no anything, right?
Yeah, true. That is so true.
And so many people my age and older are doing this business and rocking it, and they're living abroad. They're living in the warm country instead of the cold snow, and they're back in their own country in the nice weather, and they're back in the warm countries in the cold weathers. And, their health is so good. And because the warm weather, cold weather is hard on a body, right?
Yeah. And look at you, all the way from Canada, cold, icy Canada, to the warm, sunny Mexico.
That's right. And it is beautiful here, right?
Yeah,
I was absolutely beautiful. But I see people on here. There's somebody from Edmonton, and I think the weather was plus there the other day, but it's been really cold. Someone from New York, the weather was plus there the other day, but it's been really cold. And then we have somebody from France. Never been to France in my life. That's on my bucket list. I'd love to go. Jamaica, absolutely love Jamaica.
God. See how global we are. Didn't even click. I mean, thank you for noticing that. I was like literally eyes on you, listening to you. And welcome everybody who's been watching from France, from Jamaica, from Canada, from New York. And oh my goodness, I'm glad you're here to say hi to Miss Debra right here and listening to her amazing story. So we've talked about most of the challenges. How about successes that you found with the business?
The first time that I made a high 5-figure income in this business, I had to pinch myself to really, and I'd go through my check stubs and I'd count them. And my daughter said to me, Mom, you haven't made a mistake. That's right. Like, that's what it says. And I said, like, I had never made this money in a month living back east. Like, in a year, we worked back east on $30,000 a year. And I made more than that in 1 month in this business. And it was like, is this for real? Like, it was so surreal for me that I had a hard time realizing it was really real, because it wasn't get rich quick. It took me time before that actually happened. And it was just like, one day, I'm broken. The next day I'm making this kind of money a month. It was like, oh my gosh. But it's possible in this business, and it's possible for everybody and anybody if they have the heart in the right place. They live on faith, not fear, because I was afraid of putting a picture on Facebook. I was afraid to touch on my computer. I was afraid of getting in the camera and talking to people. I was afraid of everything. I was afraid typing on my computer, I was going to mess it up and I'd lose everything. And once I got over the faith, not fear, got over and believed in myself, believed in the system, and believed in the business, my business took off.
Wow, amazing and really inspiring, Debra, because my fear when I started the business is like, what would my friends and family say about it? But now I'm beginning to like just opening up and like let them hear my story if they don't
be proud of what we have, because this business changes lives. And oh my gosh, Connie, I tell people we have a gold mine, and I will never convince anybody to do this business. What I do is I tell them, go to the website, register your name and your email address, and you go and check it out on your own. It's a 90-minute information session. And I've had people say to me, well, I don't have 90 minutes to watch it. And I said, then it doesn't matter what's about. You don't have time to do business, right?
Sure.
And, and we know it's not for everybody.
Yes.
But how is people going to know unless they actually look themselves? I'm not going to convince anybody to do something, because this is a legit business. And I'm not going to, like, if we were an MLM or a get rich quick, we would be out there trying to convince people to do this. That's not what we do. We put the facts out there about what this business is about, and people come to us that want and are looking for a change in their life. And we can show them how they can do that, because our training is perfect. And like I said, if you went to med school You would get books when you go to med school. You're not going to look at that book and go from page 1 to the last page and then go write your test and expect you're going to be a good nurse or a doctor. That doesn't happen. So people can't come into this business and expect not to do the training in full and become a good, successful online business owner. It's the exact same thing, right?
That's so
Get
true.
training. Like, we don't have to buy our training. Our training's given to us. Our
Yes, that,
platforms are there. There is so much that is put on our plates for this business that is in place for us. We could never do it if we tried to do it on our own. We'd never be able to afford to do it if we had to try to do it on our own. But it's already in place for us to do now. So I just
yeah,
don't understand why everybody doesn't do themselves a due diligence and just look at it. Just
yeah,
look at it. If they look at it, then they can make an honest decision if it's for them or not. But if they don't look at it, they're never going to know. So be proud of what you're doing. Like, I say to people, if you had a job and you became a Walmart greeter, you'd be telling your family, come to Walmart. I'm a new Walmart greeter. You're going to be proud of that. We have a business that changes lives
sure.
for everybody. And I say it's a gold. We have a pot of gold sitting in our hands, and we're just waiting for people to reach in and take their piece of the pie, right? That's all they got to do is check it out on their own because it's a life changing thing. But don't come into the business thinking it's going to happen overnight. It's a business, it's a legit business, and it takes time to build it up.
Sure,
So,
that's absolutely true. Whenever people approach me, I said it's not, if you're looking for an overnight success, it might not be what you're looking for.
right,
But I
exactly.
hate bugging friends and family. I hate selling. So
Yeah.
this business is just perfect for me. And I just do what I do best. And right now, here I am, given this opportunity to talk to you and provide more inspiration to myself and to others who's listening out there. I'm pretty sure a lot of other people will need to hear such story and probably will be resonating to you and myself here. But thank you for that answer. And
And,
I'm gonna
and
move.
my children would ask me, what are you doing, Mom? What are you doing, Mom? Like, because I go into my office every morning and they'd say, what are you doing, Mom? What are you doing? And I'd say, watch the webinar. And I'd give them my webpage. Go and watch the information session and you'll know what I'm doing. And they'd say, well, why can't you just tell us? And I said, that's what I like about this business. I don't have to. Go
Yeah,
there. If you want to know what I'm doing, go there and watch it. Well, two of our daughters are business owners now and doing well. And it's not because I conned them into doing it. They did it because they seen me. And
yeah.
they couldn't wait. They would all, come to visit on day that they could go to the mailbox and get my mail for me, right? Because they loved getting these checks and bringing them and saying, oh my gosh, there's 23 checks today. And there's thick envelopes. How many's in each envelope? And they would count them up for me and get, excited and things. And I'd say, you know how much work I put into this business. You know how dedicated I am to this. If you guys are going to be successful like I am, I'm putting you to work with somebody else because I know you'll work better with other people than you will me, right?
Huh,
And that's what I did. And they do well,
yeah.
right?
And that's really good to hear. I mean, as long as you're plugged into the business, doesn't matter who you're actually directly working with. We still work as a community. And the good thing about this online community, like I tell others, like the good thing is whether I'm living here or across the globe, if I have a question, I put it in there, and then somebody would be awake half across the globe to give me some answers. If not, they'll direct me to where the answers are. I just love
Exactly.
it.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna bring you to the next question, Deborah. Okay. All right. All right. What advice can you give those on the fence of sorry, that's a typo, of starting a digital business?
Well, if anybody's out there sitting on the fence, all you're going to do is get splinters because there's no reason to sit on a fence. You're going to either get barbed wire all over you or you're going to get splinters. This business, I mean, if it's not for you, it's not for you. But if you have that desire in your heart and you feel that this business is for you, you've got nothing to lose. Absolutely nothing to lose.
Yeah, I mean, and
Right.
all it takes is they just gotta take action, because just
Exactly.
just wondering what's on the other side without taking action, it's not going to get you anywhere. Like I always say, destiny is not a chance, it's a choice. It's what
Exactly.
and not making a decision right now to take action is actually a choice. You're choosing not to make a choice to do something about it.
Right. And get people to do their, do their homework. Do some Googling and find out, how many profitable people in the world, how many people become very successful working for somebody else? Or
True.
are all these successful people from starting doing something that was out of the norm?
Yep. And the
That's
thing
all.
too about
Check out some stats.
yeah. And what I feel too is like I just feel more empowered now. The confidence in me just grew, just having to say like, "Hey, I own this business that I
Yes,
can be proud of, that I can pass on to my children, create a
yes,
legacy," I should say, and that just gives me so much pride in what I do. And I don't care now what other people will say. As long as I am here to help others and do what I do best, do what I love to do, and yeah, they can jump in if they want to. They can just need, they just need to take action.
exactly. And you know what? Involve your children in your business because they are the ones that's going to be the legacy. They're the ones that are going to be, doing your business because this is a forever business. It's not something that's here today and gone tomorrow. This is a forever business. So, my grandson, he was 4 or 5 years old, and when I started this business, and he would say, I do my go lives, and he'd say, "Now can I say it, Grandma?" And I'd say, "Sure, Leighton, you say it." He'd say, "Now join my grandma's business. Go to her webpage, www," and then he'd say my webpage, right? And he loved them.
Well,
And
you
like, and my grandchildren are my biggest supporters when it comes to, telling people, what does your grandma do, or what's your parents do? Well, you know what my grandma does, and
that,
one of my grandsons met a star fisherman, one of the fishermen. They go on TV shows and do that, and he met him. And his other grandfather said to him, "Oh, like this is a movie star. He's really important. He's really popular. Like, he's famous." And he said, "Yeah, right." He said, "Well, you know who's famous? My grandma. She's famous. She has an online business and she talks to people all over the world."
wow.
I said, "I'm gonna love those kids," but involve the kids, grandkids in your business, whatever it is, because they're the ones that's going to be building this business when I'm gone,
Yep, I'm
right?
gonna take your advice on that one. I will have to. Actually, I haven't really bugged them about it. They all are curious and like having teenagers versus younger children.
Yeah,
Teenagers then
teenagers.
right. It's a little easier with younger kids, but when teenagers they kind of shy away sometimes, and they always say like, "Mom, you're gonna post that again on Facebook, are you?" And so, how do you know me so well? But then again, I need them to understand that this is what I do, and this is what business is all
And you
about.
watch when they start seeing all those checks coming in and they're picking them up at the mailbox. Then they're going to say, "Mom, gee, I need a new PlayStation game, or I knew whatever the games are they play today. I need a new one of these," because they're going to see that extra money, right?
Yeah,
And
true, true. All right. Next question I have for you, Deborah, is what advice can you give to those that are new to the business and are still waiting for positive results to happen?
the best thing you can do is believe in yourself and believe in the system. And like nobody has ever said it's get rich quick, right? So it takes time. Like it took me a long time too. I had a lot of struggles. I had to learn a lot of things, but it took me a long time. And, and I used to get, discouraged, and I think, how come I'm not doing anything and everybody else is? Is there something wrong with me? Is my ads no good? Like, they said to write my story. Well, I can't change it because that's my story, right? I can't make it any different because that's what it is. People must not like or relate to my story. But you know what? I honestly believe, Connie, that God knows when we're ready to be successful business owners. I put a lot of time into this business before I seen any results, but it was because I needed to learn how to become a good mentor and a coach because I was in this for the long run, right? I wasn't in this for today and gone in 6 months time. I was here to stay. This because I knew I seen the numbers. I knew that this business was going to be what I was building. brought to do. And once I started realizing, I got to live by faith. I've got to have faith in myself. I have to have faith in this business. I have to have faith in God to know that, He's not going to direct me in the wrong direction.